guys, we're back. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our very own Bien. Okay, this video gonna be a little bit longer, but just bear with me because I need to talk about some things. Bien is really making some major moves here. Okay, and of course he has been receiving some hate too. For example, the outfit that he rocked yesterday. Okay, I think this got to do with the fact that he met with Macron. Okay, because I don't understand this pettiness. Kenyans, come on. People were saying that it was giving Mobutu. You all know that Mobutu's history in Africa is not so good, especially what he did to Congolese. Then was Zaire, and of course, how he betrayed Patricio Lumumba. And I'm like, Patricio Lumumba have literally the same leopard print. You know what I'm saying? Okay, leopard print that you guys are out here because you don't like Bien right now because of him, you know, linking up with French President Emmanuel Macron. I'm like, you want him to be international so bad, but when he's trying to place himself in positions where he'll be able to achieve that, you'll have the most to say. We'll talk about this in a few. Secondly, let's talk about Bien performance. Honey, it was so electrifying. Of course, you all know that if there's one thing or two for sure, Bien know how to engage the audience. Like the voice, the movement, it's giving everything. I mean, look, bro, I watched a couple of videos because I wasn't fortunate enough to go at Kasarani. I watched a couple of videos, but I must admit that Bien's performance yesterday was one of my favorite. Of course, 001 could not help it but be like, you all know the 001 and Alikiba besties, but you know, he couldn't help but, you know, dance to the beat. Just be honest, okay? He's going to have yet another performance in Rwanda on 22nd May. This year has really been Bien's year. Like, for those of us who started following him from the earlier days of Sauti Sol, we've always knew that Bien was the Beyonce of the group. Of course, when he started his own solo career, it's been nothing but the best. The reception has been good. Let's listen to what Crown Media have to say before we continue.
Leo tunazungumzia historia kubwa sana kwa ajili ya Afrika Mashariki kwa sababu Bien ndiye msanii pekee kutokea ukanda huu aliyepata nafasi kwenye festival mbili kubwa za kimataifa kwa wakati mmoja. Kwenye Afrofest itakayofanyika Marekani, Bien anakwenda kushare stage na majina makubwa duniani kama Davido, Wizkid, Lil Baby, Lato, Olamide to
add something.
Okay.
Lakini kama hilo halitoshi la Bien, tena amepata nafasi kwenye Afro Nation Portugal, Ureno, na nielewa bwana, 2026, moja festival kubwa zaidi duniani kwa muziki wa Africa.
This is the Tanzanian media, of course, owned by Alikiba, and you all know that Alikiba and Bien currently have the most hottest song in East Africa, that is Finally. So, of course, media have been really repping Bien hard. Of course, Bien is also cool with Diamond, so it's also cool with Wasafi people, right? So they were happy at the fact that Bien is doing good, representing East African out there, you know, talking about the fact that he's not only going to be on Afrofest that I told you yesterday, but he's also going to represent East Africa on Afro Nation amongst the big artists from West Africa and, of course, from the world in general. And they mentioned a couple of names. And I do not like the fact that people kept on saying, but Diamond has done it, but Diamond has done it. I'm like, okay, if Diamond has done it, meaning he's big. But now that somebody else is doing it, it means that Diamond now have a competition. You know what I'm saying? Because for you guys to be out here only mentioning that Diamond has done it, well, somebody else is doing it now. So he's not the only person who has done it. Somebody else is doing it. Jukes is coming. Rayvan is coming. So I don't understand why when somebody else is coming, there's always this silly. Like, you don't want this person to go past that. When people are celebrating the fact that somebody else is coming, and it seemingly want to surpass, because the fact that they were saying that Diamond has done it, they were trying to make it seem like Bien is still not up to Diamond's equal. They don't know that arena in the UK that Diamond needed Jukes to fill it up, and I still double down on that. Bien have already done it twice with Sauti Sol. So Bien is not some new name. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so apart from that, let's go back to the outfit. Let's go back to Bien's outfit, okay? Personally, I believe Mpasho know exactly what they were doing while they were doing this clothing comparison. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this was Mobutu's personal style. It was more like a tradition, the culture type of outfit, right? But on the comment section is where I saw people having different conversations about it. Let me read you a little bit of these comments here, okay? One person said, performing at a concert literally called Africa Forward, dressed as the guy who embodied everything holding back. Quite the statement, whether intentional or not. Quite some research on fate, total ignorance on history. Another person said, if you know history well, what did Mobutu Sese did to Patrice Lumumba, you will know UBN is approximately, BN is a sellout, stay guarded. Hold on. The person said, African print is African pride. Who said it's Mobutu's? Unless he said so himself, you guys are reaching. I absolutely agree. Let's read some more. Another person said, unfollow Pap. Another one said, BN is a sellout. Another one said, dressing up like Lumumba is a big statement. Those colonials deserve to be served with such mockery, considering what they did to Lumumba, yet they still have the guts to mock him in Europe, calling one of their fave drink Lumumba. Kudos, Bien. Okay. So, there are some who are seeing it as a statement that Bien was trying to make dressed like Lumumba. Some of them were saying, no, it wasn't giving Lumumba. It was definitely giving Mobutu because Bien met up with Macron, okay? Let me read some. Another one says it's actually Patrice Lumumba's and he posted it on his stories, okay? So people who actually follow Bien say that. Okay, another person said, slandering the person but not language. Well, whatever happened to saying Mobutu wore traditional Luya attire, the colonial white man really did a number on our culture. Nabongo King and a few resistant communities in the region, before white man insisted for us to be branded Luyas, used to don leopard prints and whisk either cow whisk or leopard capes with cowrie shells from traders. Okay, what I'm getting here is what Pasho was trying to make it seem like just because Mobutu wore it, it's evil. It represents who he was as a person, forgetting that this is a tradition, culture, not only in Congo, but also in Luya, because they're all Bantus. They have the same traditions. They still speak, their words are similar, you know what I'm saying? And I think all this got to do with the fact that he hanged out with Macron. That is just and of course, opinion. You all know that there's been this one-term, two-term thing going on. And of course, probably people who are on one-term camp feel like Bien abandoned them. And that's why they're trying to, say, rebel by, opposing or rather just throwing shade at him with whatever it is that he have going on. Anyway, tell me how y'all feel about it down in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Follow me on IG at Drizzy_radio. Of course, I love you to the moon and back.